Welcome back to the reading blog. It is Monday. We have a good start. I managed to start the vlog on Monday. I haven't done any more physical reading since last week. I haven't continued with the book, mostly because I'm kind of stuck in this loop of reading romance and doing cross-stitch. But it is calming my head down, so I keep continuing that, and I try to get in physical reading. But yeah, if I can't necessarily, I hope you're fine with that. You still get reading updates. It's just purely romance at this point, and to be honest, I don't mind it, so hopefully you won't mind it as well, even though it is not what I read when this channel started out. I read two wonderful romances over the weekend, and I want to share them with you because I found both of them topic-wise really, really impactful. And so the first one I read was Wanted, Gentle Daddy. It is book one of the Love on Tap Fragile Hearts series. It's a series about guys who work as at a bar as servers. They are like their own little friend group, and the main guys are Tucker and Joey. And Joey has Crohn's disease, and I found that to be so great as a main character because he is really suffering. He suffered in the past. He lost his mother, and his dad vanished when he got the diagnosis of Crohn's disease, which obviously really impacted him. And he then grew up at his grandma's. And the story starts with his grandma passing away and him just falling into this hole of despair. And then obviously his grief and him not taking care of his body means his disease is getting worse. And he has a bad episode, and a friend finds him, brings him to the hospital, and he quits his job because of that. Tucker is his ex-boss at that point then, and Joey had like a crush on him, and Tucker knows the boss at the place where Joey starts working, the bar where where his friends work. But Joey doesn't know that. And one of his friends get the idea to make these wanted posters for the boys. The boys, they are all adults in the story. So there is an age gap, but like they are all over, I think, 25. So I didn't mind it as much. But yeah, so he makes this wanted poster, and Tucker's like, why not? I am gentle. And it all goes from there. And this is really sweet because Tucker turns out to be the perfect person. He does like a lot of research on like Crohn's disease and all of that. And it's such a sweet story. It's like a really sickly sweet story. Sad at points, but like it's sickly sweet. And Joey obviously has a lot to work through, and Tucker helps him with that. And then, we have a confrontation with the father in the end. It was really, really good. I really loved that one. And I mean, the only thing with like the daddy boy thing is that they call themselves that, but like it's much more like a nickname than anything else. So I didn't really like, I mean, it was fine, in some books I find it weird, but it worked out in that book. And then the other one I read is, let me look up what it's called. The other one I read is the second one in that series, which is called Wanted, Patient Daddy. So because it worked so well in the first one, Toby, the boy who made the poster, makes a poster for himself. Not because he necessarily wants to, but all of his other friends kind of aren't really that much into the idea, and they don't really trust that it works. They think it's a fluke that it worked the first time. So he's like, okay, well then I make one for myself. And he is like, I need a patient daddy. He grew up rich. He still lives at his parents, and his parents have treated him incredibly horrible because Toby has a lot of energy. He's like, I feel like he has probably some type of ADHD. It never like gets spoken about in the book, but that is what it seems. He just has a lot of energy. He's like a lively person, and his parents hated that. His parents seem like the kind of people who don't even want to have children, but like have a child. And so the only type of affection he got whilst growing up was his nanny and like the live-in housekeeper, and like an older couple. They are pretty much the only people who ever showed him any type of affection, and only really little because they were really afraid that they would be let go by his parents because they saw how they mistreated their child. And so Toby thinks he is horrible to be around, and he doesn't want to like be around even his friends because he thinks they will leave him as well. Because his parents made it clear that nobody wants to be around him. And he then does the poster for himself, and he actually meets Samuel because of that. And Samuel is actually his best friend's dad. So there's a pretty big age gap, but all of them are adults. And actually his best friend sets him up with her dad, which was kind of a funny move. But yeah, and it's a really sweet story because obviously Samuel, the daddy in the situation, like then goes and makes sure that like Toby starts to understand that it's not him that is the problem, but that his rich parents are the problem. And he helps him through a lot of stuff, through a lot of trauma. And I really liked that. It was really cute. So I did also lend the third book, but I didn't start reading that yet. I have 2 other books I need to finish beforehand, which I'm going to talk about once I finish them. But yeah, I really like those 2. So the series seems to be a really good series so far. So I'm gonna continue with that one because those really stood out. I felt like the dynamic with like the older guy helping and the younger one having like really bad experiences and being really unsure of themselves was a really good fit. And yeah, other than that, I started a new of the creepy cross stitches. And it's this skull in a jar, I think it's called, or skull in a bottle, one of those 2. And this is how far I've come. I have the skull and the like container it's in, and then I'm currently stitching the jar and the it's like filled with water and the plants that are growing through the skull. So yeah, I really like this motif. And then I did actually yesterday, I went to the knitting cinema thing. I watched Glenkill, the sheep crime movie. It was fine. It's not my point of humor, to be honest. I thought I would be, but it felt like a lot of like dumb humor. Like I coined it dumb humor. Most people like it. My partner likes to tell me that I don't have a type of humor, and I might need to agree with him. My humor is really all over the place, and I don't like a lot of stuff other people find funny. It's just how it is. But yeah, it was a fine movie. Would I watch it again? No. But also they make like a really dumb mistake with hair color, which I had to cringe really hard at. So I have a lot of like knowledge about hair color, and if you know anything about hair color, it destroys kind of the revelation of the movie in the end. So that was kind of dumb. But yeah, I found the whole experience to be really, really nice. Like it was a really nice movie room, and like the light was on the whole time, but it didn't take away from the movie on the wall that it's at. And it was a really relaxing thing. And actually the movie theater owner and the and like 2 people who organized the whole thing once a month came in, had a little talk. They had like a little giveaway, and then like everybody was really relaxed and just working on their stuff, and it was really, really nice. And they already told us the movies that will be next month, because it's always on the last Sunday of the month. And they told us it's either Discovery Day or Supergirl, and then the movie about the guy with Tourette's. So I will go either see Discovery Day or Supergirl next month and do the knitting in a cinema again, because it was really cool, and it's nice to get out of the house and do my hobbies outside of home, because I don't ever do that. So it was a really nice experience, and I was really happy about that. Felt really good to, do that. And yeah, that is the catch up of the weekend. So I will talk to you once I finish either another short story in the physical read, a romance on my phone, or the cross stitch, and yeah, then we'll see how the week continues. Hopefully good. It is Tuesday now. I slept very little. I'm not liable for anything that comes out of my mouth today. And it is way too warm. It is not my day today. But I was productive still, which was kind of astonishing, to be honest. I read the 3 short stories today out of Teenage Girls Can Be Demons by Hailey Piper. Let me look at the names again so I can get this right. I read Magical Girls child crusader squad. Which in the end I think is just a metaphor for how teenagers often feel like the whole world is on their shoulders and that nobody really understands them, and then the hardships that come with teenagerdom and all like depression and like problems at home and stuff like that, and all that like comes together with that. But it was a really good story. I really liked that one. It was really great. Like, I definitely have to look up more of the author. Absolutely. Then the next one was Autotomy. Autotomy. Don't really know how that's pronounced correctly. This one was really, really weird. And it is about a blind girl and her mother, who she thinks was replaced by a scentless being, and then nobody believing her, and then it just gets weirder from there. I don't really know what the story really wanted to tell. Though I liked the ending, like it was really classical creature horror, I feel like. So it was really good. I just don't know what the story wanted to tell me correctly. So yeah, I was a little bit confused by that story. And then the last one I read today was The Turning, which is a story about teenagers, probably mostly girls, but it isn't actually named, slowly turning into pterodactyls, and their parents trying to kill them once they're turning, which I'm guessing is like like for me the story was like kind of symbolic for teenagers finding their own personalities and their own lives, and sometimes adults just not being accepting of that, and the way that there are adults out there who really, really make the lives of their children really, really hard. Like, I feel like a lot of these stories you can interpret a little bit differently, and I don't know if they even are supposed to be interpreted like that, but I feel like they give you so much, these short stories, what you can like apply to your own life and your own experiences, you know? And yeah, I really like that. So I'm now a little bit over halfway through the book, which I'm really proud that I did quite a bit of reading today, which I'm really happy about. I have three stories left. So the last one is actually nearly 100 pages long. Yeah. So 2 really short stories, and then I read 4 stories. Wait, which one did I not talk about then? Oh yeah, I read 4 stories. I was slightly confused right now. I also read We Who Hold the Median, which is a story about 2 homeless girls who witness a homeless guy getting killed at the median, where he tries to get money from people who have to stop at the stoplight there, and then they take over his space, but they are pretty sure that there's a curse on the space that he put there, and then the story not ending great for one of them. So yeah, I also read that one. I kind of forgot, I was just confused. So I have only 2 stories left. One short one that is about 30 pages, and then a long one that is about 100 pages. So yeah, excited to continue tomorrow with this one. We'll see how far I can get tomorrow. Other than that, I did as much of my cross stitch as I could. Sadly, I ran out of thread, so I have to order more. But this is how far I've come with my cross stitch. I love the design. I'm super in love with the design. But yeah, as you can see, I have to fill this in still, and I ran out of the color, so I have to order that, which is a little bit sad. I do plan on ordering cross-stitch supplies this month because I need more Aida, which is the fabric I'm stitching on. I do need more of that anyway, so I will do a order for that, but it will be probably like a week or something like that. Yeah, other than that, I did start a new crochet project, which I'm crocheting like just a basket pretty much to keep stuff in. I want to keep my projects in like different bags, but like to have like one basket that is for projects, and if that is full, then I won't start a new project because I'm already starting like a million projects parallel again, which isn't ideal. But yeah, that is. Oh, also, I finished Romance yesterday. I finished the third one in the series I talked to you about yesterday. That one was really sweet. It was about two guys who were best friends in school, and then the boy that works at the tavern, he cut all contact off, and mostly because he experienced violence in his home life, and then he was homeless because he ran away from home as soon as he could, and he had a pretty rough life since then. And the other guy comes into his workplace again and again, but he's not sure if he should talk to them, and then they start talking again because of an incident in the tavern with like a guy who's really rude, and the friend protects the boy that works at the tavern from him, and then they start talking again, and then they both realized they were gay around the same time when they were teenagers, and they both realized like they were into each other, but they never talked about that because of the violence that was in one's home. And that was a really, really sweet story. I really like that one. And then I started another one, which is like a really sad and tender story so far. It is also about somebody who we have a brother pair. One of them owns a gym, and together with his friend, and the other one owns a bookstore. And the one that owns the bookstore has experienced a lot of violence in his last relationship, and he has a lot of PTSD and stopped going out and stuff. And the friend of the brother needs somewhere to live, close to the gym that they are opening, and so the brother's like, why don't you move in with my brother? He needs somebody to look after him because he's obviously really struggling, and he doesn't want to tell us why, because he doesn't want to talk about it. And so he moves in with him, and it is really tense at the beginning, because obviously the guy is really afraid of pretty much everyone at that point, and he has a lot of negative voices in his head from his ex. And they like really, really slowly start to develop a friendship through Oreos and little post-it notes put to everything, and it is really, really sweet. And yeah, they're still like, I'm still not even in the middle of the book. It's like quite long for romance on Kleinland Limited. I have to look up what it's called. Let me look up what it's called. It is called Shelved Hearts. And yeah, so far it's really, really sweet. So it is also really sad. So hopefully it's not too sad going forward. But yeah, I'm hopefully now getting to the point where they will slowly start to rely on each other and develop the romantic part of the relationship, because they do have feelings both for the other, but for obvious reasons they don't act on it at all. So yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes tonight. Okay, I finished. Let me get the book. I finished Teenage Girls Can Be Demons, and for me this is a 5-star read. I enjoyed all of the stories. The last two, one was about the first one was about a orphanage for girls and run by nuns, and the girls that are vanishing with really shitty excuses from the nuns. So yeah, it's like actually a heartbreaking story, but you know, there's the monster in the attic, and the girls vanishing, and girls dying, and nuns being horrible people. And, you know, it's not the first story like that we heard. And then the last one, the really long one, was a Halloween story with, you know, a burnt down house and the, like, 6 bodies being, like, not found. And one is, like, an adult and 5 are, like, teenagers. And then the legend that comes from that. And the guy being, like, Benny Rose, which is like the guy being labeled a cannibal that goes after girls on Halloween, and you know, a little bit of like a town tribute. So he leaves the town alone, like, you know. It is one of those stories. I really liked it, though I do have to say I like the concept of the shorter stories. I'm realizing I'm a really big fan of like horror short stories that are like between 10 and 30 pages. I feel like with like horror you can do quite a big impact in like those short pages where like other genres might struggle with the shortness. For horror it works really well for me. So yeah, this is actually a 5-star read, which I'm super happy about. I haven't had a 5-star read in quite a while, at least not a new one. So I'm super excited for this to be a 5-star read and that I finished it. I don't know what I will pick up yet, but I don't have a lot of time to read this weekend because my partner and I, we had our 4th wedding anniversary on Monday, and our present to ourselves came yesterday. And we actually bought the Minas Tirith Lego set, which is by far the biggest Lego set we have ever bought. Like, we are pretty lucky, I would say. But like on our anniversary each year, we now had a big Lego Lord of the Rings set drop. So it's now kind of our thing to do a big Lego set on our anniversary and rewatch the Lord of the Rings films. And because it was a Monday on our anniversary, we are doing the building and the watching of the films on Saturday and Sunday. So I probably won't get around to do a whole lot of reading. But yeah, I'm super excited to build that Lego set. It's like, it looks good. It looks so good. I'm so excited. But yeah, it's sitting in our living room right now, and I can't wait for it to be Saturday. Also, rewatching the Lord of the Rings films is always a good thing. Other than that, I reread a romance yesterday, and I read a new romance the day before. I actually continued with the series. Let me quickly give you the names. I read Calling Chaos, which is Demon Bound Book 3, 2 days ago, which is a series about a family, like they're all cousins and brothers of mafia guys, which have taken over the family business, and they all actually accidentally summon demons and have problems in their world, and the demons fall in love with them and help them solve the problems, and then they are fated mates, and so the demons can stay because it's like kind of like a contract work for the demons, and if they have done X amount of contracts, they can stay in the normal world or they can permanently go to hell. And all of the demons fall in love with their guys, and the Calling Chaos is about the computer genius cousin who doesn't really want to do anything with the mafia, but because his father was like a drunken guy, he had to take over and work for the family business now, and he is super shy and super socially anxious, and he accidentally summons Chaos, which is like the most chaotic demon he could summon, and they are really cute together. I really like both of them. So that was a good read, and I have book 4 of that now that I can read, which is called Unleashing Mayhem, which is the first character that isn't part of the family of the mafia guys, but it is a guy they rescued in a previous book, and who now lives with them because he's so traumatized that like they couldn't really, put him out. So I will read that one, but before I do that, I did a reread of Gator, which is Three Bears Tactical Book 2, which is a bodyguard romance, which I love a good bodyguard romance. And I reread that. It's the second one because today the third one came out, which is called Crow. And I am super excited to continue with the series, so I marked it in my calendar actually. And yeah, I'm super excited to read Crow tonight because the first two, like in the first one, we have a guy, oh yeah, who has a shitty ex who is in a motorcycle club that do also human trafficking, and he escapes, finds Three Bears Tactical in his new city, goes there to learn self-defense, and then his ex tracks him down, and the first owner of Three Bears Tactical helps him out, falls in love with him. The second one, with Gator, we have, oh my god, I'm so confused. With Gator, we have what is the name? He's a hairdresser. that the right name? You know what I mean. He owns the salon. And he witnesses how somebody gets kidnapped at the bar where the three best tactical guys hang out, and he knows them. And he notices the like kidnapping, and then he also gets into the claws, like the guys have seen him and they are a human trafficking ring and they want to get him too. So the whole book he's kind of getting hunted down by the guys who did the kidnapping. And then he falls in love with the second owner of Three Bears Tactical. And then the third book is about the guy that gets kidnapped in the second book, which gets rescued at the end. And that one is about Crow, who isn't an owner of Three Bears Tactical, but he is like pretty much second to the owners. And he actually opened like a training facility through Three Bears Tactical, where they train cops and all of that, because they are all ex-military in like wilderness survival and self-defense techniques and stuff, to make them all like better first responders. And he fell in love with the guy they rescued, but in book 2, but he left town, and then they realized that the guys who kidnapped him are still after him because somebody bought him in the second book. Like, it's all in like at the end of the second book. And so yeah, the third book will be about their relationship, so I'm super excited to read that tonight. Other than that, I am working on my basket that I'm crocheting right now, and I also did manage to do a little bit of my cross stitch, so you can now see the wing of the dragon and also the head a little bit. So that is what I'm working on, which I will continue now, and I will see you tomorrow with an update on Crow. I will probably finish that today because it's like a 200-page book. And we'll see what else. I do need to pick a new physical read as well for tomorrow. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, I've decided not to pick up a physical read for the rest of the week, because I won't be doing any physical reading tomorrow and on Sunday. So it kind of seems not so sensible to pick up one now that I then can only continue on Monday. Like, there are 2 full days between that. And I just don't really feel like doing that. Though I can tell you, I will be reading Hellbent as my next read. So I will start that on Monday. I did start and finish Crow yesterday, and I loved it. It's 4.5 stars. It's a great book. I love all of the guys. There was drama in there. I loved the way the drama was resolved. Like, it had to happen with the guy that bought our main character, who was kidnapped in the other book, in the second one. And I love the way it was resolved, because we did get to also rescue another person. And yeah, love that book. I love the combination between all of the sweet guys and them being like bodyguards and helping people, and that kind of being the whole mission in life. And yeah, it was just a great read all around, to be honest. And yeah, there was a spoiler for like the next book in the book, and I'm so sad I'm gonna have to wait so long till the next one comes out, but I'm super excited for the next one. So yeah, super duper excited. And then when I finished that book, I found out that one of my absolute favorite romances I read is called Storm, by, I don't know the author right now, but like, it's probably easy to find, but I can put it on the screen. They continued that series, and the second book is called Benji. I'm not gonna start that directly because I know it's gonna be fucking sad. I read like the blurb, and it's like, oh, in the beginning something really bad happens, and then he kind of has to be built up from there again, and I'm really afraid what bad thing is gonna happen to him. But yeah, in Benji, the main characters are Benji, the new guy, and the police officer who helps our guys in the first one, and who is the best friend of the bar owner in the first one, who's like one of the 2 main guys of the story. So I'm super excited because this guy is like super nice, super cute. So I'm really hopeful for him for like a happy ending. I know there will be a happy ending, but I'm just not prepared for that kind of sadness today. So what I will probably do is reread Storm over the next couple of days because I know the story, so there isn't any like bad surprises in the story. And then I will probably on Monday or Tuesday will start to read Benji. But yeah, I'm so excited that there is a second book out there in that series because it's like one of the best ones I've read. Super sad, but one of the best ones in my opinion. Other than that, I am currently working on my cross stitch. As you can tell, I am making progress on the dragon, though I do have 2,170 stitches left still. But yeah, I'm working on this one because I ordered supplies for a full art one of an artwork I bought. Like it is a cross stitch, fully stitched cross stitch, so where you stitch all of the stitches, like where you don't have any cloth left at the end. And I bought all of the supplies for that, so I have to wait till they are coming, but it is a really, really big piece, and I want that finished before that comes. So that is what I'm working on. And then I did finish my crochet project yesterday, which I'm already using it, but I wanted to show you. I crocheted this, tote bag? Can you call it a tote bag? It was supposed to be just a storage container, but it doesn't hold its shape on its own because I stitched it in a slightly looser stitch, because even though I used a slightly looser stitch, it was really, really hard on my wrists, so I didn't want to do a like even harder stitch to do with this mud yarn at once, but it looks really good, I feel like. It's like gray, light like a teal color, or mint color, and white in the bottom, and then I switched the white for a pink because I didn't have enough white. And yeah, this is how it looks, and it is now holding all of my cross stitch projects because that is what I wanted it for, and I'm super happy. I didn't use a pattern, I just made one up myself because it's a pretty basic thing to do crochet wise, but I'm super happy. And I do plan on making more of those and then trying to experiment with making them actually stay up on their own. But I'm fine with that. I'm super happy that I finished it. So that is what I've been up to. Okay, so we have been working on the Lego for most of the day now. It is, I don't know, 3 o'clock around there somewhere. And it is such a great set. They actually have no stickers in there. It's just printed, everything that is printed, and yeah, it's looking really great. But it's really, really big. Like it's like 60 centimeters wide and 60 centimeters high. It's like a really big set. But yeah, we're so excited for when it's finished, but we'll see. Probably not finish it today, rather probably tomorrow. But yeah, other than that, I finished my romance from yesterday, which, let me tell you what it's called again, because I'm always forgetting. It's called Unleashing Mayhem, which is the 4th book in the Demon Bound series by Gray Bryan. And I really like that one. I think it's a really sweet contrast because here we have Nightmares, the demon who feasts on bad dreams, and our main character who has pretty much nightmares every night. And Nightmare already knows him because of the nightmares, because he is in his dreams and he already like kind of tasted his soul while in his dreams, and he knows he wants our main guy. So once our guy actually summons Nightmare and makes a pact with him, Nightmare already knows and wants him, so the situation is a little bit different to the other ones. And it's mostly about our main character being incredibly insecure and fearful and having to get a handle on his life because he was kind of held captive more or less by the bad mafia guy, his stepfather, which he was killed in like one of the other books. And so he's like, he has a lot of problems, he has a lot of scars all over because he was pretty heavily mistreated there. And Nightmare is kind of like trying to get him through that, but for Nightmare the challenge is that he normally like inspires fear, and now he has to try and inspire caring and healing, and that is something new for Nightmare. And so yeah, it's a really, really sweet, like it's a really sweet romance. And then there's a lot of like death of the enemies, obviously, but yeah, and Nightmare just like helping our main guy through everything, and I really, really like that. So it's a really good series, but I think that is the last book in the series, at least so far. Yeah, so far there are only 4 books, so sadly I am now finished with that series. But it was a great read. I would actually really recommend that series. They're all pretty sweet. You have like the mafia aspect and the violence that comes with that, but like the romance part is just really sweet in all of them. So yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I haven't chosen a new romance yet that I will have to do tonight. And then the other progress I have made is with my dragon. As you can see, I now have most of the wings done, and I kind of need to do most of the body still. But yeah, that is how my dragon is currently looking, and I am excited to continue with that one, probably tomorrow, because today we are just doing Lego. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it was a little bit less physical reading than I thought it would be, but I had some really great romance reads, which was nice. And yeah, I had an okay week. And so yeah, thank you for being here, for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!